Hi there, I'm Alan Mann. I'm an IT operations leader specializing in observability adoption and people leadership under pressure. Metrics and Mayhem is where I share short, honest signals from the front line, the lessons you only learn when systems and teams are up against it. So let's get into it. One of the biggest lies I think we still tell ourselves in IT ops is this, right? If we test harder, plan better, review longer, we can stop the outages from happening. This idea is all about comfort and giving yourselves and ops, our leaders, comfort. Look, if you've done it for as long as I have, you also know this is bullshit. Modern systems are supposed to be complex. They are by default. They're supposed to be distributed. They're supposed to be interconnected, and they're constantly changing, especially lately. They're constantly changing. So failure isn't an edge case anymore. It is the baseline. Is the expectation these days. And the real question isn't how we stop every failure. It's how fast we can gain control when it happens. And this is where I see teams getting it wrong. Only yesterday, we tried to optimize for the perfect release. We talk endlessly about prevention. Teams design just a plethora of processes that assume nothing will go wrong. And then something does go wrong, and their only move is a 2-hour rollback and a prayer. Look, this is not resilience, guys. This is hope. You know, I've sat in those war rooms, engineers exhausted, business revenue going down the pan, and senior leadership under pressure, and it all rolls down to us. And everyone is asking the wrong question. Why did this happen? This comes later. The question that matters now is how can we stop the impact immediately? The most resilient teams I've worked with, make this mindset shift. They stop treating a release as a single irreversible event, right? They start treating it as something they could control at runtime, right? So feature flags, kill switches, you know, traffic shaping, a progressive rollout, and not because it's trendy, but it gives you options when things do go sideways. Look, so here's the difference in real plain terms, right? A 2-hour emergency rollback is chaos. A 20-second toggle is control. Customers don't care how elegant our architecture is. They never know. They care whether the service is working. Leadership doesn't need a perfect explanation in the middle of an incident. All they really need to know is, are we in control? They need to feel that we're in control. And this is where observability earns its real keep. Not the dashboards, not the charts. Its ability to give decision support when it needs to. If you can see the impact clearly, you can act decisively. If you can't, you naturally hesitate. Everybody does. And hesitation turns out to be expensive. Trust me. So here's Alan's hard stop. Resilience isn't about being perfect. It's about being in control when things break. Now, as in every episode, here's the habit I want you to think about. Next time you design a system, a release, a change process, ask yourself this. What's our fastest, safe way of this going wrong? Not the cleanest, not the most elegant, the fastest way to reduce impact. If the answer is rollback and hope, you don't have resilience, you have optimism. And optimism doesn't scale. Here's your signal for today. Stop chasing the perfect release. Start designing more control in these releases because outages will happen. Of course they will. The teams that win will be the teams who can say calmly and truthfully, we've got this under control. Thanks for listening. If you think this is useful, pass it on to someone. If you want to have a discussion, please leave something in the comments. And if you'd like to come onto the podcast and discuss any of the points I have, then please email me. This is Alan. More signal soon.